And good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Foods for Health live stream on Wednesday, November 10th. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope everyone can hear me nice and clear, nice and loud. And again, I hope you guys are having a great and healthy day. So we are back, number 2 for the week. I think it's our third in a row. So actually, I think it's our third for the week because we had one last Friday, we went Sunday, and then now we're going back on Wednesday. So thank you so much. Very, very happy to be back on here and very happy to have all of you listening to me and listening to the chat right now. Susan H., good morning. Already in chat. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys are excited for this one. I think it's a really interesting topic. Again, of course, the ones I'm going to choose I think are going to be very interesting topics, not, just for a few of us, but for most of us. Things like heart disease, heart health, diabetes, sugar intake, all of the stuff that we've been talking about in the last couple of live chats. Today we're going to be talking about colon health, something that kind of goes under the radar a little bit, I'll say. All right, because with colon health, that's always connected, or our large intestine connected to digestive health. Very, very important that we have proper digestion. I've talked about in numerous live chats and in numerous videos just how important the digestive system is, not for the different functions that it performs, its processes for removing waste from the body, for nutrient uptake, for helping get rid of certain digestive ailments like constipation, bloating. These are all things that are going to have to deal with colon health and making sure that we have a healthy colon or large intestine. Sometimes it's easier for people or people have heard of it in that term, large intestine. So you have your small and large intestine. The colon makes up part of the large intestine, or is the large intestine. And like I said, huge role. The reason why colon health is so important, all right, is because it plays a huge role in processing the foods that we eat, all right? And we're constantly eating. If we want to be healthy, we want to make sure through that process of the food we eat, we want to make sure we're taking in as many nutrients, and we want to make sure we're taking in as much of the healthy compounds as we can. Because as we know, there are some foods and people who, may be dealing with large intestinal issues, colon health issues, where they're not absorbing or able to get that nutrient uptake that they're looking for. So these are all things that we're going to be talking about. We want to talk about some of the best foods for colon health and then some of the worst foods for colon health, things that we want to stay away from. I don't think they're going to come as much as a surprise, but I think some of them will in terms of some of the worst foods, and we're going to start there. But some of the best foods, when I was doing some of the research on this, very, very interesting. I think you guys will find it very helpful, and I think you guys will find some great value with that. Starting off here, I just want to say thank you again to everyone for the support. Again, let me know in chat if you can hear me. Susan, I hope you're still in chat. Let me know that I can be heard. It's always greatly appreciated. I think everything is back to normal here. We're all fixed up. It looks like everything's running quite smoothly. So I think we're good to go, but just say hi in chat. You guys know how much I enjoy the engagement. And again, thank you for listening. So we want to make sure, when it comes to colon health, again, I always start with, yes, foods are important. Let's not neglect lifestyle as well. All right, lifestyle is always going to be a part of our discussion when it comes to overall health, even if it's heart health, even if it's colon health and digestive health, guys. Remember, we want that 150 minutes of anaerobic or exercise per week, all right, or aerobic exercise per week, I should say. And then we also want to get a little bit of resistance training in as well if we can, 1 to 2 times a week. If we do a full body 2 times a week, then, we're off to the races. We are doing a great job, all right? I think if you're doing that, 150 minutes of cardiovascular, and again, it doesn't have to be super intense. It can be hiking, it can be going for a walk, it can be a nice enjoyable bike ride, a swim if it's still warm where you are, or you have access to a pool, things of that nature. And then for the resistance training, everyone always thinks, you have to go to a gym, you have to do, use free weights, things like that. You can use machines, or you can simply use resistance bands. All right, so we can go to that. Leo, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for coming in. Leo, did you have a specific question that you wanted answered? But yeah, make sure that we're enjoying that our lifestyle changes as well, guys. You can add all the healthy foods, stay away from the worst foods, but if we're not making proper lifestyle choices, then these foods that we're adding aren't going to be any much to in terms of colon health. So always keep that in mind, guys. Now, let's talk a little bit about one type of food. Sometimes it's not even classified as food, but one thing that we want to make sure that we're doing, guys, and one of the things that I'm always going to stress as well, is make sure if we want good colon health and good digestive health, let's make sure that we are consuming enough water. All right, we want to be hydrated. All right, we want to help remove those wastes and toxins from the large intestine, from the colon. So we want to make sure not only are we drinking enough water, all right, making sure we're drinking enough water, but sipping water throughout the day. Remember, we don't just need to just automatically get to that 8 to 10 glasses. All right, it doesn't have to be first thing in the morning. You can just sip on water throughout the day, help get that water intake in, and make sure that we're not chronically dehydrated like a lot of the population is. Remember, we were talking about that before. Chronic dehydration is a huge epidemic that's going on right now. Individuals only getting 2 to 3 glasses of water a day or less. Let's make sure that we're shooting for that 8. I think 3 liters on the minimum is what's usually recommended here. Hassini, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you so much for joining me today, all the way from Trinidad. Again, like I was saying last time, a lot of people from Trinidad and Tobago, a lot of listeners from Trinidad. So thank you so much for coming in. I hope everything's well with you. Thank you so much again. So let's make sure that we're getting good water intake here, guys. Again, 3 liters if we can. 3 liters is what we're shooting for. 3 to 6. 6 is usually going to be on the higher end. All right, that's usually if you're working out, if you have high intensity. It depends how tall you are, how big you are, all right, and how much you're sweating throughout the day. So first things first, we want to make sure if we want good colon health, drinking enough water, good adequate water intake. The other thing, guys, is going to be fiber. We need to make sure that we're eating fiber, and the foods that we're going to be talking about that are going to be best for colon health are going to be foods that are good in both soluble and insoluble fiber. All right. Now, the reason why we want fiber is because if we want good colon health, again, large intestine, all right, we want our digestive system to be healthy. We need to make sure that we're adding bulk into our diet. So we want to make sure that we're not dealing with things like constipation or bloating or inflammation throughout the digestive tract or in the gut. All right, or even in the colon, the large intestine. So making sure that we have fiber, all right, keeping us regular, reducing bloating, inflammation, helping good bacteria in the gut to thrive. Fiber is very, very important. So you'll see that come up a lot in some of the best foods that we're talking about for colon health. Again, Hassini, Susan, great to have you in chat. Thank you so much for stopping in. I really appreciate it. So let's talk first, guys, about, and again, some people might not enjoy the lifestyle talk, all right, and, want the foods. But again, we have to talk about the lifestyle changes, guys. If we don't talk about the lifestyle changes, the foods will make no difference. If you're not getting, it's like individuals who are trying to become healthier, but they're only getting 3 hours of sleep every single night. All right, again, that's only going to be detrimental to your health. We have to make sure that we take care of all the aspects of our health. All right, if we want to have better colon health, we need to drink water. All right, we want to get proper exercise. It's going to go hand in hand with digestive health. Good morning to you, Tracy. Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming in and for engaging. I really appreciate it. So Susan, Hassini, Tracy, Morgan, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Good morning, Tracy. Grand Risings, happy for a new day. Absolutely, Morgan. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, guys. And I hope that you enjoy the discussion. All right, so don't underestimate those lifestyle changes, guys. They are super important and they are super necessary. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the foods, all right, that we want to avoid, some of the worst foods for colon health, all right, things that we want to start to limit. The first 2, all right, are going to be fairly simple, all right. The ones that we're going to want to avoid, all right, the first one, all right, alcohol. Alcohol is going to be one of the foods that we're going to want to avoid if we want healthy, if we want a good healthy colon, all right, large intestine, all right. Alcohol, if we're drinking alcohol, that's only going to be detrimental to digestive health and to colon health. So alcohol, if you do have alcohol, again, we have to keep it in moderation. You have to either have it in moderation or just take it out of the diet in like 100%. But if you are going to have it, keep it in moderation as best you can. Good morning. It's a lot of work. For the lifestyle and health, Tracy, are you referring to? You're right, it can be. All right. And one of the main things that I try to point out is you want to try to just keep it simple. Try to keep it as simple as possible and little compounding changes. Don't go for the home runs. 1% a day. If you're doing 1% a day in 1 year, 37 times better. All right, not just 37%, but 37 times better. So little changes each day. Yeah, that bad bacteria, Cindy. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing okay. Absolutely, in that case, I hope you're speaking with your medical practitioner. But again, a lot of these things are going to be going back to helping good bacteria in the gut to thrive. That's exactly why I pointed that out with our fiber discussion. We want to make sure we have good bacteria in the gut. So Cindy, I'm very sorry to hear that, and I hope that you're speaking with your medical practitioner, because we don't want to be dealing with that. Obviously, if we want our quality of life to be improved, we want colon health to be improved, so please make sure you're speaking with a medical practitioner. All right, guys, so the first one, alcohol. All right, think of alcohol, all right, in terms of colon or our gastrointestinal tract, so the digestive tract. Think of alcohol as an irritant. All right, alcohol, there's no value when it comes to digestion. There's no nutrients. All right, the macronutrients are horrible. All right, you're gonna have basically just sugar, all right, or carbohydrates. All right, even if it's low calorie, like people like to sort of promote or will tell you that they're drinking, it's a healthy alcohol. I kind of chuckle at that just a little bit. Those calories don't always take into consideration the amount of alcohol in there, because don't forget, guys, in 1 gram of protein, 4 calories, 1 gram of carbs, 4 calories, fat, 1 gram, 9 calories, and in alcohol, 7 calories. So there's still going to be calories, even if, they take out some of the ingredients. All right, if you have alcohol in there, then there's going to be calories that you're going to be getting, and there are going to be calories that aren't going to be providing any nutritional basis. So think of alcohol as an irritant. It's going to be dehydrating you. It's going to be causing inflammation. It's going to be causing bloating. It's going to be detrimental to our overall colon health and digestive health in general. Osteoarthritis issues here, Tracy. Okay, we've had a few arthritis and even some arthritis discussions. There's a lot of videos that I have on the channel dealing with arthritis. If you want to give those a watch, then they might be helpful to you. But osteoarthritis, again, very, very, there's even an epidemic of arthritis and osteoarthritis and inflammation going on in today's age. So sorry to hear that as well. Tracy and Cindy, I hope that you guys are speaking with medical practitioners, and I hope that you're getting the help that you need. I know it can be tough, guys, for sure. It can definitely be tough, but you just keep trying your best. Keep trying your best and keep putting your best foot forward, and eating as healthy as you can, and some of the stuff that we're talking about today. So the first one, guys, make sure, all right, that alcohol, all right, and again, with alcohol, all right, and when it comes to colon health, again, it gives no nutritional value. And what's even worse, if we're trying to improve colon health, remember we talked a little bit about wanting to eat foods that increase nutrient uptake, so increases the absorption of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, all those good things that we want. Alcohol actually prevents, not only as that irritant, but it's actually going to reduce the absorption of some of these vitamins and minerals. A lot of them, most of them, to be honest. It's also going to hurt the absorption of water. It's going to make you dehydrated. We started out with that. If we want better colon health, then we want to make sure that we're properly hydrated. All right, so we see how alcohol is probably one of the worst things that we can be intaking if we're trying to improve colon health. All right, again, try to see if you can cut it out of your diet altogether, but if not, then you have to have it in moderation. All right, a lot of times people have it once a week, but they'll over consume And if they're over consuming, then that's just right off the bat, it takes days for that recovery. All right, a lot of irritation going on, a lot of inflammation, and it's going to be a lot of reduced absorption of important vitamins and minerals. All right, and even water, guys. And thank you so much for the thumbs up. I see that we're at 10. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. So if the first one is going to be alcohol. Alcohol is going to sort of act as that irritant, guys. It's going to stop the absorption of important vitamins and minerals, which could be increasing colon health. That's a huge one for you. All right. And let's just make sure also that, if you are drinking alcohol, we have to make sure that we're thinking about hydration as well when it comes to overall colon health, because remember, alcohol is going to be dehydrating you guys. All right, it's one of the worst things actually for hydration. It's why you have hangovers. All right, it leads to the shrinking of the brain. Tons of things come from when we overdrink or overconsume alcohol. So just be careful with that one. The next one that you're going to want to stay away from, guys, one of the worst ones is going to be, and one other thing that I just wanted to point out with alcohol, even if you're having, let's say, moderate drinking, all right, moderate to heavy, so 2 to 3 glasses a day, obviously is going to raise your chances of, I don't always like to talk about colon cancer and things like that, but colon disease, all right, other diseases that are related to worse digestive health, all right. But even we're seeing that moderate. So why I say try to keep it in moderation or cut it out altogether. Even that moderation, you're still seeing a significant increase, all right, in gastrointestinal and colon health type chronic diseases, and even acutely. All right, you're going to be having dehydration, inflammation, bloating, stomach pain, things of that nature. All right, and then even if it's moderate, again, significant increase, 20% of certain colon, so colon health, I don't want to always say colon cancer, but colon related issues, all right, diseases, things of that nature, even if it's in moderation. Oh, that's nice. More and more people are growing, having their own sort of farms, having their own sort of gardens. I was doing that. I was letting you guys know things that I was growing in mine. So, no, that's great, Cindy. Now, the other one, guys, now that we can move on from one of the worst, all right, alcohol, another one of the worst for colon health is going to be sugar, of course. All right, just like we talked about last time, all right, in our last discussion, one of the worst things that we can have for colon health and for digestive health is going to be sugar intake, guys. Again, increased inflammation. All right, constipation actually being involved in increased sugar intake. All right, dehydration, things of that nature. Again, there's no health benefits, and again, there's going to be more of a reduction of the absorption of important vitamins and minerals if we're consuming sugar, especially on a day-to-day basis, and especially in excess if we're adding that sugar into our diet. We're not going to be absorbing as many micronutrients that we want or as we possibly can. So we need to make sure that we're avoiding, all right, or at least limiting sugar intake if we want to make sure that we're improving our colon health. Enjoy walking my dog while listening to you. Well, that's awesome. Crossing the line, getting some exercise and listening. That's great to hear, crossing the line. My dog loves the extra long walk, and I love learning to improve my diet and health. That's great. Thank you so much for that comment, crossing the line. That's great to hear, and I'm glad the dog's getting some enjoyment out of it as well. It's true. Sugar is addictive, all right? And again, if you want to talk or hear more about sugar, we had a 2-hour conversation on Sunday that went up talking about all the negatives and how sugar is affecting our mind and our body and how addictive it is and some of the ways that we can help limit it through our day-to-day life. I would give that a listen, all right? So again, sugar is going to be one of the worst thing. It plays a role in a lot of digestive issues, a lot of colon health issues, all right? Large intestines. Again, when I say gastrointestinal issues, I'm talking about the colon as well, because don't forget the colon is seen or sometimes termed the large intestine. So it's one of the worst things, again, that we can be having. Increased inflammation, right? Increased risk of certain chronic diseases within the digestive tract, all right? Inflammation, and there's tons of them, guys, like irritable bowel disease, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, all of those different types, and worse, all right? Again, even if you want a healthy colon, an unhealthy colon, all right, again, if you're drinking too much alcohol, if you're having, too much sugar, it's going to lead to problems like cramps, abdominal pain, all right, bloating, all right, excess gas, constipation, all right, that can be in the acute term, all right, just shortly after that you have that, all right, no one wants to deal with abdominal pain, all right. Over time, even worse, colon issues, all right, severe and chronic health concerns, all right. Like I said, I don't always speak about cancer, but we do see an increase of colon cancer in those types of diets. I try to take powdered vitamins or liquid, absolutely. Monk fruit sugar is really better than sugarcane. I'd go stevia, Morgan, if possible, or just raw organic honey. Monk fruit, I've been hearing a lot about, thanks to you guys. Oh, no problem, Morgan. Absolutely. I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you so much. Okay, so again, some other foods that we're going to want to stay away from, foods that we're going to want to avoid, all right? So some of the other ones here, guys, you guys might have heard this, but red meat, okay? So red meat, we might enjoy it. It's one of my favorite foods, but we want to make sure that we're keeping red meat in moderation. A lot of the times, I think you see it's like 18 to 24 ounces per week is often the recommended maximum amount. You don't want to be going any more than that. And when it comes to red meat, a lot of people will think steak, that's an easy one, or lean ground beef. Don't forget though, guys, it also includes things like pork. All right, pork would be included in your red meat. I know some people enjoy lamb. Lamb would also be included in red meat. So that can add up quite quickly. If you have a steak, all right, a lot of the times they're saying 3 to 4 servings of red meat. Either one of those, all right, so it doesn't have to just be steak, but most people aren't eating a 6-ounce steak. They're having like an 8 to 10. So if you have two steaks a week, then you're going to be getting pretty much your fill of red meat. You want to keep it in moderation, all right? And again, if you're having other things like pork and things like that, we want to make sure that you're keeping it in moderation, guys. And thank you so much. 11 thumbs up. Thank you so much for the support, guys. I really appreciate it. So again, keep red meat in moderation. Limit red meat as best we can. All right. We already know. So again, beef, lamb, pork, things like that. We know through studies, again, more likely for colon cancer. But again, we know that not only is colon cancer, that's going to be the big one, guys. All right. Colon cancer is on the rise for most populations around the world. All right. But again, not only is it colon cancer, because, again, we want to speak with our medical practitioners about that, but we also want to make sure that we're doing it for digestive health as well. All right. So make sure that you're limiting red meat, again, 18, 24 ounces per week. I would keep it on the lower end if you can. I think 24 ounces is quite a bit, to be honest. That could be 3 steaks a week. For most people, that's a lot. I used to eat quite a bit of red meat. I've really cut back. I maybe have like 1 serving, maybe 2 maximum a week right now. But limit red meat as best you can. All right. Chicken's a good one. As Cindy said, chickens you can replace with chicken. You can replace with fish. Again, just keep it in moderation as best you can, guys. All right. So another one that we want to make sure that we're limiting. All right. Processed meats. This is a big one, guys. All right. So some of people's favorite foods. I know some people love bacon. They love those sort of sandwich meats and things like that. Those are going to be some of the ones that you want to stay away from the most. All right. Again, very little nutritional value. All right. And we already know that, one, there's going to be some sugar in it, all right, surprisingly enough. But the other thing, other than we had alcohol, sugar, red meat, now we have processed meats, so like your sandwich meats, other things like that. But we also know that it's going to be very, very high in salt, and then very high in different chemicals like preservatives and things like that. All right. I'm the same thing. I'm just like I tell you guys all the time, I'm very sensitive to sugar. I'm very sensitive to salt and sodium as well. All right. If I have sandwich meats, I have to make sure that if I do have it, it has to be in moderation. And it's almost like a cheat meal for me. It's almost like a treat, all right, to have these sandwich meats. Some people will go almost back-to-back days or every day for lunch having like a ham sandwich or something like that. Ham and salami and things of that nature. All the good ones that you guys like, prosciutto and all that nice stuff. But for me, I find that very hard. I know it affects my stomach. Trust me. It affects my stomach when I have it. I enjoy it from time to time. It's almost one of those things where you put up with it for a day. But I do try to limit. I don't have it very often. Those types of sandwiches I probably have like 1 or 2 times a month, just because I know how much it affects me. Again, mindful eating is important. Know how different foods affect you guys. So one of the worst ones, again, for colon health is going to be packed lunch meat. All right. All those like a bacon, ham, processed meats, guys, not only going to increase your risk of digestive issues, all right, gas for one of them, bloating, all right. Again, very little nutritional intake, high in sodium, which we already know is horrible for colon health. All right, we want to make sure sodium intake, all right, is being moderate, just like sugar is. So little to no sugar or sodium intake. But, it's also going to help lead to, or at least increase your chances of colon cancer as well. And again, that's why you speak with your medical practitioner. And if you have any worries about that, make sure that you speak with your medical practitioner about that for further treatment and prevention methods, guys. Never eat prepackaged food. Yes, again, with preservatives and stuff like that, prepackaged, try to keep it in moderation as well. Oh, the sweating. Yes, absolutely. If I'm eating the wrong foods, it'll affect my sleep 100%. Sometimes I'll sweat even as well. So again, know your body, know how it reacts to certain foods, guys. Now, again, we want a healthy colon. All right, we want a healthy large intestine. We want to increase colon health. So again, to sum up just real quickly, all right, make sure we're limiting alcohol. Alcohol is only going to be detrimental for overall colon health. One of the worst foods, drinks, whatever you want to call it, one of the worst things we can put into our body for overall colon health. All right, being dehydrated, one of the worst things for digestive health, for colon health. We want to make sure that we're hydrated, guys. We want to remove waste and toxins from the body, not have them in. We also want to make sure that we're limiting sugar, that we're limiting sodium, that we're limiting red meats and processed meats, because all of those are going to do the exact same thing. Keep inflammation high, reduce nutrient uptake, okay? And remember, we want to increase nutrient uptake for colon health. All right, but all of these things are going to be reducing the nutrient uptake, the amount of nutrients that we're getting into our body. So make sure we keep that in mind, guys. There's a sort of a nice list. I know, so again, like I said, maybe even someone off the bat today, get to the foods. What are the foods? The foods aren't for, the foods is in the title. But if we want overall better colon health, factors that, medical factors, guys, risk factors for colon, cancers, for different, digestive problems. Physical inactivity is one of the risk factors. All right. Just like obesity would be a risk factor. Smoking, eating processed red meats in high amounts, high levels of alcohol. Those are all risk factors. That's why I never start the discussion with just, talking about the foods. We have to include the lifestyle changes as well. Imagine if I was telling you, okay, add green tea to your diet, but it's okay if you still smoke, or if you still drink heavily, if you still have moderate to heavy drinking each week. It just wouldn't make much sense. All right, so that's why the lifestyle changes are important as well. And if you do have to or if we're dealing with obesity, it's the exact same thing. And if you are dealing with that guys, just make sure that you're keeping it in consideration. Be mindful of it. And then, there's no judgment. You just need to make sure that you're aware of what's happening to your body with the things that we put into it. Okay? So again, if we want to increase, just make sure, we want to stay away from high consumption of red meat, reduce smoking, all right? Get good calcium, guys, and you're going to see that in some of the foods. Reduce, alcohol consumption, get some exercise, all right? And then I think the last one is watch out for those processed meats. And drink water. Make sure that we're being hydrated, guys. We do not want to be chronically hydrated. Is honey okay? I think honey in moderation is just fine. I would go with raw organic honey. If you are going to be taking honey in, pasteurized is just going to be having added sugar. I would go with raw organic honey, and again, I would still keep that in moderation as best you can, Cindy. Just because, honey, it does have tons of antioxidants. It has a lot of health benefits, but it's also, at the end of the day, it's going to be a sweetener. So it is going to have some of the sugars in it as well, and it can increase blood glucose levels also. So in moderation, I think it's just fine. But again, some people will overdo it, thinking that it's going to be sort of like one of those foods. Well, it's a healthy food. I can sort of have a little bit more. It's going to as they say, a good thing can be a bad thing if taken too much. So just keep your honey intake in moderation as well. And I'm a big fan of honey. You guys have seen maybe the videos on this channel, raw organic honey. You guys know I love the health benefits of it, but you always hear me say you don't need any more than a tablespoon at max, and you can still get those amazing health benefits from it. Okay, so I think that's good for the foods that we want to stay away from, guys. All right, now let's talk about some of the best foods. And thank you again for the support. I see the thumbs up are just climbing and climbing. Thank you so much, guys. And again, if you have any questions in chat, or if you have, any comments, please feel free to make the comments. And please feel free to ask questions on topic, of course, if you can, please. I always love the engagement, and I love hearing from you guys as well, especially on these Wednesday mornings, the middle of the week, right at 7 a.m. It's amazing that we have everyone in here, listening, people who are going to listen to this after. It's amazing having you guys in here so early on a weekday. So thank you so much again for joining me, everyone, and for supporting the channel. So let's talk about some of the foods that we're going to want to, make sure that we have in our diet if we want a healthy colon, if we want to increase colon health. Guys, we have to start with water. I know I've said it before, but if we don't get about 8-ounce glasses, that's one way to think about it. Another way, since we have these amazing jugs now, we have these amazing water bottles, which actually shows how much water we're drinking. I would try to shoot for about 3 liters of water a day on the low end. And again, if you're only drinking half a liter right now, don't just jump up to 3 liters. You're going to be setting yourself up for failure. I would increase it slowly week to week. So if you're having half a liter right now, jump it up to 1 liter, then 1.5 liters, then 2, and then until you get up to that 3 liters. All right, and then I think 4 is a nice one for a lot of people. But again, that's going to be dependent on your size, your weight, your activity level, so physical activity level, your activity level throughout the day. If we're sweating, the intensity of your workouts. That's why 3 to 6 is generally the guideline. It's why is there such a big difference in how much water I should be drinking? Well, for some people, if you're running, and let's say you're running for an hour at an intense pace and you're doing that 5 times a week, you're going to need a lot more water than someone who's, a little less active, maybe going for hikes 2 to 3 times a week, things of that nature. Or even just someone who's 250 pounds versus someone who's 110. They're going to need more water than that person. So just try your best to see if you can get that 3 to 6 liters. Start with 3, all right? Because most people aren't getting at least 3. A lot of people are getting less than 1. And I've done hundreds of consultations and spoke with even more people about the topic. People are chronically dehydrated these days, guys. So make sure that we're getting adequate levels of water. That way we're increasing our overall colon health. Sorry, I'm just trying to catch up with the moving chat here. I think everything's going good, but I just got a whole bunch of messages all at once. 3 eggs a day. Nice. A lot of people are scared of eggs, but eggs are a superfood. Wake up, I drink 1 glass first of filtered. Yes, I think that's a great thing to do. Try to get, as soon as you wake up, 1 to 2 glasses right off the bat, I think is a great thing for most people. I think, if you're sleeping 7 to 8 hours a day, if you get that nighttime sleep, that's 7 to 8 hours where you didn't get any water, guys. That's if you didn't wake up during the day. Let's say you had a nice restful sleep. It was undisturbed sleep. If you didn't drink for 7 to 8 hours, then you're going to want to get some water in you as soon as you wake up. So make sure that we're getting that water in us, guys. All right. Again, that's going to help improve colon health. It's going to reduce the waste and toxins from the body. It's going to help with the removal of those waste and toxins from the body. So first things first, we have to make sure that we're drinking enough water and that we're hydrated, guys. All right. One of the most important things. All right, low water. All right, so being dehydrated is actually a risk factor for digestive issues and for colon health issues. All right, so let's make sure we're trying to get enough water, guys. I think that's a great one. Some tea, you can even have tea like a green tea and things of that nature. That can help hydrate us as well. So first things first, guys, see if we can get our water consumption up high enough. I think that would be great. All right, so other than, let's say we get the water in, all right, I think water's one of the most important ones to start. All right, let's say we got our water in. The other ones that we're going to want to make sure that we're doing now, so now we're on to the best foods. We've gotten through the worst foods. Some of the best food choices that we can make for overall colon health. All right, the first one, all right, and it might come as a surprise to some people, but this is why I love going through these discussions. One of the best ones is actually going to be fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, sardines if you can stomach them. Not everyone is a fan of sardines, I know. Fish oil supplements, things that are high in omega-3 fatty acids. All right, it's going to be great for overall colon health, for our large intestine, and for the digestive tract overall. All right, so salmon is a great one, guys. All right, and salmon is nice. All right, and it doesn't have to be salmon. I know there's people out there who aren't salmon fans. All right, let's say you don't eat meat. Walnuts are a great option for you because there are some omega-3 fatty acids. All right, but we know, all right, and again, I'll just tell you the studies, guys. Again, when it comes to cancer, you guys know I'm not always a huge fan of discussing cancer-related issues. That's something I think you should be speaking to your medical practitioner about. But there have been studies out there we're correlating to foods like salmon, foods that are high in omega-3s, where there was a correlation between the intake of omega-3 fatty acids and the slowdown of growth of cancer cells in the colon. So just keep that in mind. Again, I would speak with your medical practitioner about that. Even more importantly, okay, we know that, all right, it may give us benefits for cancer, colon cancer. And the reason why I don't like giving them out, guys, one, all right, I think you should speak with your medical practitioner about it. But two, it doesn't mean it's not a 1 + 1 = 2. Just because you're eating omega-3s doesn't mean, you're never going to get that sort of chronic disease. All right, it still could happen, but it's going to lower the risk of it happening, at least from the studies. All right. Now, even more though, we know that foods like salmon, mackerel, sardines, walnuts, things that are high in omega-3s, they're going to increase, all right, the function of the colon. All right, there's numerous studies, all right, that show that omega-3s can actually increase the function of our colon, removing waste and toxins for the most part, all right, increasing nutrient uptake, which is very important for our overall health. Don't forget cod liver oil. How could I forget? Cod liver oil is like the first. It's like the original fish oil. But yes, if you're getting it from cod, it doesn't really matter as long as you're getting it from somewhere. Cod liver oil is a great one. I've had numerous videos on cod liver oil on the channel. But yeah, I could go on and on. Trust me, I could probably list 30 of them. Cod liver oil being another one. Codfish being another one. Herring being another one. All right. Just make sure you're taking you're having fatty fish that has those omega-3 fats. But thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Susan, for pointing that out. Yes, cod liver oil you can take. I like omega-3s. Just make sure that if whatever you're taking, there's a good amount of omega-3s in comparisons to omega-6s, and then also make sure you're getting some EPA and DHA in it. It should tell you right on the label. You want to make sure that that ratio of omega-3 to omega-6s is a good one. It's easy for us to get omega-6s. This is why fish oil really grew in popularity, because now, they throw different things into it. It's like cod, sardines, mackerel. It might not even be cod, actually. I'm trying to think what's on mine. Sardines, things of that nature. All right, but it's got a good amount and a good healthy ratio of omega-3s to omega-6s, because omega-6s, like I said, and omega-9s are easy to get. We want to make sure that we're getting those omega-3s into our diet. So just make sure you're on the lookout for that. You can see on the label, and then also EPA and DHA. All right. I think even if, like, for some of the fish oil supplements out there, you take 1 teaspoon, you're going to get a good amount of omega-3s. All right. You're getting those fatty fish sources. It's very easy. 1 teaspoon is all you need. I'll be honest, I take a teaspoon every single day. I think there's tons of health benefits, one being colon health, which is amazing. All right. Someone mentioned osteoarthritis. Sorry, I can't scroll up and see who it was again. I apologize. All right. Can help with inflammation. All right, inflammation throughout the digestive tract, through the large intestine and colon. All right, increase nutrient uptake that way. All right, so I think it's great. Am I a nutritionist? Not by, I guess, with a piece of paper that says that I'm a nutritionist, if you want to look at it that way, Cindy. But I'm just someone who, I like to explain it as someone who's been making videos while researching food for 18 years, and then someone who's been making nutritional videos for almost 10 years and doing live discussions for about a year now. Have about 5,000 videos on this channel. So there's no piece of paper out there that says, so-and-so as a nutritionist, but, I have put in my research. I try to do as much research for you guys as possible. And I think the research is the most important thing, guys. Getting the studies in, looking over the most recent research, because I know there's new stuff always coming out. And again, this is why I always say speak with your medical practitioner. I like just giving you the information as much as possible. All right, so I think if you can get those omega-3s, guys, I think one of the best ones for overall colon health is going to be salmon, fatty fish, mackerel, a fish oil supplement, walnuts even. Get those omega-3s in, okay? Because we already talked about the chronic diseases, but we also know, and there's been numerous studies to show, that if we're getting the right quantity, all right, so we already talked about this, the right quantity of omega-3s, because again, you can be eating these fatty fish, but not all are going to be super high in omega-3s. Like I know with salmon, all right, it's not quite comparable to something like tuna. Some people will say, well, I know there's a little bit of omega-3 in tuna, but if you compare tuna to salmon, there's a lot more omega-3s in salmon than there is in tuna. So we want to make sure we're eating the right quantity of fatty fish. If we're doing that, like salmon, a fish oil supplement, anything like that, we know we're reducing inflammation in the colon, all right, which is great. Obviously, we want to do that. That's going to improve our digestive system. That's going to improve and reduce the risk of colon-related issues, colon-related diseases. All right, and it's also going to improve gut health. All right, we've seen some people talk about gut health in chat. All right, but reducing that inflammation, omega-3s are going to be helping with improving overall gut health. All right, it's going to help increase overall good bacteria throughout the gut. So omega-3s, guys, some of the best foods that we can choose for overall colon health. All right, stick with your salmon. Take a supplement if you want. Cod liver oil, Susan, I know you like your cod liver oil. Absolutely. The original, one of the original supplements, to be honest with you, that and wheatgrass. All right, wheatgrass was one of the first green drinks, still popular to this day. Again, that's why I say keep it simple, guys. All right, you can use all of these things. A lot of people will have green drinks that have 10 ingredients in them. Do you need 10? No, not necessarily. All right. Are some of them fun to make and taste good? Yes. Will they give you nutrients? Absolutely. But you can keep it simple. Sometimes 10 ingredient drinks can be a little bit time consuming and maybe even just a little bit expensive as well. So stick to what works, all right, and keep it simple. Is canned salmon or tuna just as sufficient than salmon or tuna from the butcher shop? That's a very interesting question, Hostile. Thank you for asking. So great question. Canned salmon and canned tuna, I will say this. You just have to make sure that there's no preservatives added. I would be careful seeing where it's sourced, all right, because we know that like a canned salmon or a canned tuna, it's probably going to be made somewhere where it's made in large quantities. So you want to make sure where the source comes from. All right. Sometimes, you got to be a little bit careful of, preservatives or, one of the big things out there at one time. You don't hear about it as much right now, but I think it's still something that you want to keep in mind is mercury and things of that nature. So where is it sourced? What else is in it? Is there preservatives in it? Is it oil? Is it, preserved in oil? Is it preserved in water? Things of that nature. Whereas if you're getting fresh from a butcher shop or things like that, it could be, from Salmon Farm or something like that, where, it's getting fed certain foods. All right. We know it's not being sort of produced from polluted water, things of that nature. I'd say a lot of the times, yes, it is sufficient. All right. Not everyone can get to their butcher shop. Let's keep that in mind, guys. I find it really tough and almost discouraging to tell people only get, your meat from, a certain place or, salmon or tuna from only a butcher. One, price, all right, the price of things are going up. And two, just access, all right, being able to access. Some people, not everyone has that. It's just easier for them to go to the grocery store and get it. I think if you're going to have canned salmon or canned tuna, just make sure you're watching where it's coming from. Make sure you're watching and reading the label if there's anything else added into it, preservatives. Sometimes there even could be sodium added into it. Right? But at the end of the day, if you can, go with the butcher, go with something that's fresh. But at the end of the day, canned is going to have the same macronutrients, omega-3s, the proteins that it would coming from a butcher shop. You just got to look for the little things, all right? For me, I would say my own opinion, and people can disagree or agree with it, that's fine. But for me, if you're not having it every single day, if you're keeping it in moderation, so maybe 1 to 2 times a week, canned is fine, guys. All right. I had canned tuna yesterday. It'd be pretty hypocritical of me to say only get it from a butcher shop. You just want to make sure that you're reading the labels and making sure that it's a good sourced salmon and tuna product. Make sure the label says wild caught. People, if you can buy. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying, Hostile. You're exactly right. All right. You got to make sure you watch where it's produced, even watch where it's from. You'll see Pacific salmon all the time. All right. So just make sure you know exactly where it's being produced from, what's in it. All right. Make sure what I like to call mindful eating. All right. Know what's going into your body. Okay. So I think we summed it up pretty good with the omega-3s, guys. One of the best foods that we can have for colon health are foods that are high in omega-3s. Salmon, like we were just talking. All right, walnuts if you don't eat fish. All right, sardines if you like them. All of those different things. So omega-3s are a big one. Now, there's also some other ones that are going to be great. All right. Another one, guys, that's actually going to be nice, all right, and that we should probably stick to, right, if we want to increase colon health, is beans and legumes. All right. A lot of the times you guys will hear me say that I'm a huge fan of complex carbohydrates like beans. All right. So for instance, like black beans, I know kidney beans aren't always a favorite. For some reason, I'll always bring up kidney beans and people say they're not really a huge fan of kidney beans. Doesn't matter what kind, black beans, pinto beans, navy beans, white beans. There's a whole bunch. I like black beans. Black beans are one of my favorites. So lentils are also good, guys, if you want to have legumes and things like that. Lentils are just fine. But beans and legumes like lentils are going to be one of the best things that we can eat for overall colon health, and for a number of different reasons. All right. For one, we know that beans super high in nutrition, guys. One of the best nutrition sources out there when it comes to complex carbohydrates. Super high in magnesium, super high in manganese, in B vitamins, potassium even, and then even things like B vitamins. So beans are a great source of nutrition, especially for colon health. Even better, when we already talked about this, we led off with it when it came to our lifestyle changes. We know that beans, and this is going to be great for colon health, are super high in fiber, both soluble and insoluble fiber. All right, so one, very high in nutrition. Two, super high in fiber. All right, which is great. Again, that's going to help add bulk and help remove toxins and waste from the body. Also going to help reduce inflammation and allow good bacteria in the digestive tract to thrive, not just the gut, but the digestive tract. And then we also know that there's some protein in there as well. Okay, now the other nice thing about beans, guys, and like black beans, doesn't really matter, any sort of bean, is that it's super high in antioxidants that are going to be specifically helpful for overall colon health. All right, and these are called flavonoid antioxidants. All right, so they're very rich and high in compounds known as flavonoids that are specifically, all right, important for overall colon health. All right. So that's why I love beans. Same thing, and again, it can be with black beans or anything like that. And beans are super easy to add to the diet. All right. A lot of people will think you need to just eat them plain. You can add them to soups. You can add them to healthy chili meals. You can make, stir fries with them. You can make healthy wraps with them. There's a lot of ways that you can add beans to your diet. So beans are one of the best ones for overall colon health as well, guys. Remember, the goal is to try to remove toxins and waste and allow increased nutrient uptake. Beans are going to reduce inflammation, which is great. They're going to add bulk, so we're not dealing with constipation, bloating, abdominal pain, things like that. Right? And one, very high in nutrition. All right, and I love the fiber and protein that's in them. All right, so see if you can keep beans. Again, any are good. My personal favorite is black beans. I think black beans are very easy to add to any diet, and they have all of those things that I mentioned: high nutrition, high fiber, high protein. Okay, so beans, one of the best foods for colon health, guys. See if you can add beans in there. Now, another one that might be a little bit more, I think this one you guys will kind of understand why, but one of the other ones, so we have omega-3 fatty acids. So salmon, fatty fish, you can have a fish oil supplement. That's fine. Multiple beans and legumes, black beans, kidney beans, lentils, soybeans from time to time. I would, keep that in moderation. But the next one that's going to be great for colon health, guys, this can't go unsaid, even though it might be a little bit more people might be more aware of it, are cruciferous vegetables, fruits and vegetables, guys. We need to make sure that we're getting enough. And if we can, colorful fruits and vegetables, all right? The reason why we want to have a good amount of fruits and vegetables, and if you're going to have one more than the other, and I know people don't always like to hear this, all right, more vegetables than fruits. Fruits keep at like 2 to 3 max a day if you can, all right? And then vegetables, you can have anywhere from 3 to 6 servings per day. All right. When it comes to fruits, the best fruits that I think, the best bang for your buck when it comes to colon health is going to be something like blueberries, a superfood. All right. And here's the reason why. Super high in anthocyanin antioxidants, and they have phytochemicals, which is very important for fighting inflammation. All right, again, that can lead back to cancer, but we don't always have to talk about reducing colon cancer. All right, these phytochemicals, all right, and antioxidant compounds and anti-inflammatory compounds, are going to help reduce inflammation throughout the colon, all right, throughout the large intestine, all right, which again is going to help improve nutrient uptake, all right, and help relieve digestive related issues and improve overall colon health. So I think blueberries are tremendous, guys. Blueberries are great. Also, super high in nutrition, low in calories. Doesn't get much better than that, because we said that being devoid of nutrition or fiber is a risk factor for certain colon issues. Okay, so make sure Fruits, keep in moderation. I think berries are great, so that's why I say blueberries I think is a great choice. Blueberries, you can't go wrong with blueberries. We know that the high amounts of antioxidants in blueberries, all right, again, it's going to reduce the risk of numerous different colon diseases, improve colon health, reduce colon cancer risk, all right? And the important thing is as well, and I really want to make sure that I stress this, is that berries are actually a great source of fiber, all right? And not a lot of people think about that. They think about, well, I know they're high in antioxidants. I know that they're a good source of micronutrients. But the fiber content in blueberries and strawberries, all right, very, very high, all right, very high, especially compared to other fruits. Even like apples is very nice. I think if you're going to choose from fruits, all right, it's going to be the 2 to 3. I think if you're going to choose between, fruits, you can choose things like blueberries, raspberries. I think bananas are fine if you're having like one a day. You guys know how I usually am with bananas. You don't need to overdo it. The reason why I like bananas for colon health is it has pectin fiber, all right, which is very nice. If they're a little bit more unripe, all right, green bananas, it's going to have resistant starch. All right, great fiber levels and different types of fiber found in bananas than other types of foods. All right, so I think those are good ones, guys. Blueberries right up there. But the reason why fruits are so important, one, reduction of inflammation, great antioxidants, all right, anthocyanins in blueberries and strawberries, by the way. All right, phytochemicals, all right. Another nice thing would probably be raspberries, all right, so great nutrition in all of those, all right. Those are going to be great for our overall colon health, guys, all right. Great for overall colon health. Even for like oranges are great. All right, so you have lots to choose from. I would just make sure you're not overdoing it on fruits every single day. 2 to 3 is all you need. And if you're having blueberries, a cup of blueberries, all right, that's about a serving. All right, some people will say half a cup, but there's not a lot of calories in a cup of blueberries, guys. And thank you so much for the 20 thumbs up. I really appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. Now for our vegetables, because don't forget, we're talking about fruits and vegetables as the best for colon health. I think like blueberries, I think bananas are great. Raspberries, oranges, those are all great for overall colon health. All right, things high in antioxidants. Even like strawberries and blackberries, great. All right, high in fiber as well. All right, those are awesome ones. I think the vegetables are kind of easy to choose. You guys know my favorite. If you've listened to a couple of these streams, broccoli is like the king, especially when it comes to colon health. I think broccoli you cannot go wrong with. That's probably one of your best bets for overall colon health. One, it has sulfur compounds, so sulforaphane, which is a nice kind of addition than if you're comparing it to other cruciferous vegetables. But, when it comes to broccoli as well, super high in nutrition. You're going to get a great amount of fiber from it as well, and also some protein, which is very, very important. All right. And then also with broccoli, it's very nice because it's high in antioxidants as well. All right. One of them being vitamin C. I don't know if you guys are aware, but broccoli is a tremendous vitamin C source. It's super high in vitamin C. It's one of the best vegetables for overall vitamin C. So again, antioxidants, fresh, and try as best you can. Have fresh fruits and vegetables, guys. Lightly steamed is just fine. Some people will ask me, well, if I want to increase my health, should I be, steaming my vegetables or cooking your vegetables? I think the important thing is if you want to increase your health, vegetables are never a bad thing. Okay, so if you're cooking them, lightly steaming them is fine. But I think if you're getting vegetables in, guys, you're on the right track. All right, it can't be a bad thing unless you're like overcooking them to the point where they're rather than you're like burning them, then yeah, it could be an issue. But just make sure you're getting your vegetables in. Keep it simple, like I always say. You can go with broccoli. Other kind of ones that are sort of popular, Green peas are very popular. Cabbage is a great one because it's going to help with the digestive tract as well. We know that it's a good probiotic, prebiotic with cabbage. And then, with your kale and spinach, there's nothing wrong with that as well. But I think if I was going to choose two, like broccoli would be very nice, and then cabbage would be very nice as well, just because you get some of that gut health benefits also from that. All right. Nothing wrong with artichoke either. All right. So there's lots of options out there, guys. Lots of options when it comes to vegetables. All right. You can't go wrong with vegetables. Vegetables are great. Oh, that's okay. Sonia, great to have you in chat again today. Any thoughts on prunes and prune juice for colon health? Okay, very nice. That's a great question. So, let's talk a little bit about, we can put them together. Well, we know, and if you don't, that, prunes and prune juice, a lot of the times for colon health, used to help treat constipation. So it's almost seen as like a natural remedy for constipation. We've seen this in numerous studies where, prune juice, dried prunes, dried plums, all right, can actually help to alleviate and reduce some of the symptoms of constipation. Do I think they're good for colon health? Yes, I do. I would just be careful with the sugar, the amount that you're eating. We talked a little bit about this on Sunday, but the amount of sugar that can be in prunes and prune juice, I would just try to keep it in moderation. Is there benefits for prune juice? Yes, we've seen in some studies as well that things like prune juice, all right, can actually help, one, not only prevent constipation, but may even be able to help prevent colon cancer. And again, because I don't always like to speak about cancers and things like that, I think that's best left to your medical practitioner, but there has been studies that show prune juice has led to a lower risk of colon cancer. And you know what? At the end of the day, yes, that is super important, of course. But at the end of the day, it's going to help with digestive system, your overall digestive health, with your colon, so your large intestine, and help good bacteria in the gut to thrive. So it's going to reduce inflammation. Remember, inflammation is a risk factor when it comes to serious colon health issues. So I guess maybe just to sum that up, Sonia, yes, I think that there are some good benefits for prune and prune juice for colon health. Again, I would just try to keep it in moderation, just because the amount of sugar that can be in both prunes and prune juice. But yes, there's been numerous studies that show prune juice and its beneficial effects for colon health. It's actually the thing is, it can help with constipation. It's seen as sort of like a mild natural laxative, which again, all right, it can improve regularity, which also has the benefit of helping to remove waste and toxins from the body, guys. And so that's a great one as well, because if we want to improve colon health, we don't want waste and toxins, all right, sitting in the digestive system, all right, or the digestive tract, all right, in the gut, in the large intestine. Doesn't really matter where we're talking about, but we want those toxins and waste removed. So I hope that helps sum that up a little bit, Sonia. But yeah, I think prunes and prune juice definitely have a place for colon health. I think you just want to make sure that you're not getting too much sugar, especially with prunes. Anything dried is going to give you a little bit more sugar. My mom takes 3 prunes every morning. She said doctor recommended. Oh, there you go. So maybe me and the doctor are on the same page. But yeah, I think any more than 3 prunes. 3 prunes sounds great. It's like Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts, super healthy, but you definitely don't need any more than 3. 1 is more than enough, just because the amount of selenium that's in it. But yeah, prunes too. The nice thing about prunes is you're going to be getting a little bit extra fiber than you would from the prune juice. And of course, fiber is going to be good for colon health. So very good. So I hope that helps, Sonia. I hope I helped add a little bit of information there for prunes. Thank you very much for the question. So I hope that sums it up for making sure, if we want to increase colon health, it goes without saying, guys, fruits and vegetables are your best bet. All right, one of the best bets, one of the best foods for overall colon health. Get as many colors, have fun with it. Get as many colors as you want. Again, strawberries, blueberries, broccoli, a banana, things like that. Pears. All right, you're getting a bunch of different colors just in that. Oh, no problem, Sonia. My pleasure. Always great having you in here, Sonia. Thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate it. Another early morning. So thank you so much. I hope that helps some other people as well with prunes and prune juice. I know it's very, very popular when it comes to overall colon health and even digestion and constipation relief and things of that nature. Now let's talk about another one here, guys. All right, and one that sort of goes overlooked. All right, and I want to give a spice out. We know turmeric is a good one. Turmeric is a nice one because, it has curcumin in it. It's going to reduce inflammation, which is great for, one, the large intestine or colon. All right, so we want to reduce inflammation. It has tons of antioxidants in it, and it's actually going to increase the antioxidant capacity of the body, which is very nice, help increase nutrient uptake. So turmeric's a nice one, but another one I want to kind of throw out there is cinnamon. All right, cinnamon is very nice. All right, there's been numerous studies out there that show how cinnamon has a great ability to reduce inflammation found in the colon. All right, in our large intestine. So getting like a teaspoon of like Ceylon cinnamon, that's why some people will ask me, what do I put into my smoothie? I'll tell them all the foods and the 2 spices that I'll throw in. 1 teaspoon of turmeric, maybe even a little bit less than a teaspoon of each of these. Like 3/4 of a teaspoon of turmeric and 3/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon. All right, cinnamon is a nice one because it's going to reduce inflammation throughout the colon. All right, so we know cinnamon is a nice one. It helps to, and again, you don't need a lot, but there's a lot of preventative measures for overall colon health. It can be cancer, can be digestive issues, things of that nature, but cinnamon is a nice spice when it comes to overall colon health. One of the best ones. Turmeric, I think turmeric and cinnamon, 2 of the best spices for overall colon health, guys. And again, you don't need a lot, especially if you're taking it on a daily basis or very regularly. All right, you do not need a tablespoon, and people will sometimes get that confused in some of my videos. You do not need a tablespoon every single time you're taking turmeric. You can have 1/3 of that or even less. I just told you less. All right, like 3/4 or half a teaspoon. And I think you're going to be doing just fine, especially for overall colon health. Now, another one that might be a little bit surprising to some people, but one where there's been very good studies, all right, and probably one of my favorites, all right, to point out just because I love it so much. The other one, guys, some of the best foods for overall colon health are going to be whole grains. All right, now specifically, let's break that down a little bit because there's a lot of whole grains out there. All right, and now this is another complex carbohydrate similar to how beans were or legumes were. And thank you for the 25 thumbs up, guys. Again, I appreciate you, especially coming in here on a Wednesday morning. Very much appreciate you guys. Thank you. But for whole grains, let's take oats, for example. So oatmeal. All right, I love oatmeal, especially for colon health, like heart health it's known as. It's really well known for improving overall heart health, but it's especially also well known for improving colon health, the digestive system, the large intestine. All right, so for oatmeal, one, why is it one of the best foods for colon health? Well, it has a huge amount of fiber. 2, calcium, and we'll talk about this a little bit later. One of the risk factors, a major risk factor for, different types of, unwanted colon health sort of diseases, colon cancer, yes, all right, is actually low calcium intake. That's why we're going to get into some interesting foods here in a second, all right, but we want that calcium in there. But we know oatmeal, all right, great source of calcium, also maybe even some vitamin D. The important thing though, fiber, some protein, and a complex carbohydrate. All right, we know that all of these things taken together are going to help improve the digestive system and keep it functioning properly. And when we talk about digestive system, of course, that's going to be colon, our large intestine. All right, so oats are one of the best things. Christine just had steel cut oats. Very nice. One of my favorites, to be honest, Christine. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing. Pretty much what I have every morning for breakfast. One of my favorite breakfasts. Oatmeal and blueberries, or with cinnamon and an apple. Some of the foods that I've just been mentioning, actually, to be honest. But that's awesome. So we know that oatmeal is a great one, guys. It's going to help keep the digestive system on track. And now also for colon health, all right, it's going to increase overall and even improve overall bowel health, all right? So it's going to, increase nutrient absorption. The one thing that we started off our discussion with, we want to be increasing nutrient absorption, all right? Getting those healthy vitamins and minerals, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, all of that great stuff, all right? And we also know that the fiber is going to help relieve, some of the gastrointestinal stresses, all right, that can be placed on the body. Inflammation, like we talked about with alcohol, sugar, and sodium, all right, and bloating and excess gas and even abdominal pain. All right, but it's also, we need to make sure that we know, things like oatmeal. It's one of the best for colon health because, increase nutrient absorption, improve overall bowel health, so it can help with regularity, all right, reduce constipation, all right, but then we also know that it can help to reduce inflammation. It can help to remove toxins and waste from the body since it can reduce constipation. All right. And then not even that, it's also one of the best sort of carbohydrates when it comes to that fiber. And that fiber is very, very important when it comes to overall colon health. Can diabetic eat oatmeal as well? Well, it depends what type of diabetes, type 1, type 2. Catnip, that's going to be a question that you'll want to definitely ask your medical practitioner. The reason why, again, I usually don't get into specifics like that is because I don't have your full medical history. All right, now, I will say this. Oatmeal, right, for people with pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetes, I'm not talking about type 1, all right, would eat oatmeal be okay? Well, usually it would be because it's a complex carbohydrate, so it's a slower digesting carbohydrate, all right? So it's not going to increase blood sugar levels or blood glucose levels as high as things like sugar would, for instance, all right? But the other nice thing is it's high in fiber. That's going to slow down the digestive process as well, and it has some protein in it. All of those things in there are going to be good for someone with like pre-diabetes or type 2 diabetes. As Christine is saying there right now as I'm reading it, see, she's doing steel-cut oats, and the reason why you have oatmeal and why I said steel-cut oats are some of my favorite whole grains is because you want those complex carbohydrates. It just depends. Some people are different. It's hard to say, oh, you're diabetic. Yeah, oatmeal is fine for you because, anyway, it's going to be a complex carbohydrates, and complex carbohydrates are always better for someone who has type 2 diabetes or type 1 diabetes. It doesn't always work that way. Some people have different metabolic effects than others, and we have to respect that. Some foods might be good for others, whereas some it might create a different response in the body. All right, different response in the body for different people. But we know oatmeal, all right, is great for colon health, and we know that it's a complex carbohydrate, and we know that because it's a complex carbohydrate, it's not going to spike or increase blood glucose levels as high as those simple carbohydrates, like for instance, like grapes. All right, would be one, like desserts, sugar, things of that nature, guys. And thank you. We're almost at 30 thumbs up. Geez, every time I look, it's just increasing so fast. Thank you so much, guys. I think you would get a lot catnip on the discussion from last Friday on diabetes, and even from the sugar one. I think that you would get a lot of benefit listening to that live stream where we kind of did a deep dive into diabetes and into sugar. I think you would really benefit from listening to that. So maybe if you want to give that a listen to, you'll get a lot of information, a lot of foods, in particular to pre-diabetes and diabetes. So oats are a great one, guys. They're one of my favorite. I have them pretty much every morning. Super high in fiber, great for digestion, great for colon health, reduction of inflammation. It's going to increase nutrient absorption. It's going to help relieve, digestive related issues like constipation and improve regularity, help reduce waste and toxins from the body. I could go on and on. So I could go on and on with that. I think you guys get it. No problem, Catnip. Yeah, if you get a chance, check that out. I think you might enjoy it, and I think you might find it helpful. My pleasure. Thank you so much. So that's another great one, guys. I'd also say another one that we might want to have, and one that we might want to think about. We talked a little bit about calcium intake, all right? And the reason why, and again, we don't have to go crazy or overdo our calcium intake. All right, so we don't have to go, calcium, so dairy products every meal, but some dairy, and I know not a lot of people will have dairy, so you can take like a calcium supplement or something along that line, but there have been studies to show that things like yogurt, all right, especially with active bacterial cultures, so probiotics and things of that nature, all right, it's super, super helpful, especially when it contains probiotics and things like vitamin D, and with the calcium, very, very important nutrients for lowering the risk of different types of colon related issues like colon cancer and, other things like diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome. So it helps to keep good colon health. So things like yogurt, milk, other things, can be any dairy product. All right, a lot of it will have vitamin D, like milk or anything like that. Again, you don't have to have skim milk. 2% milk is just fine. All right, again, the research shows calcium, very, very helpful. That added vitamin D, very, very helpful. All right, just having those dairy products in the diet is going to help reduce colon-related issues, colon-related diseases, one of them being colon health. Again, speak with your medical practitioner, because again, I'm not saying just because you have yogurt every morning doesn't mean you have zero chance of risk at certain diseases. Unfortunately, it does not work that way. But I think, getting a little bit of calcium, getting a little bit of dairy products is going to be a good thing for our overall colon health, guys. All right, just based off the research alone. All right, most studies show that calcium-rich dairy products, are going to be beneficial for overall colon health. So I think that's important, and one not really a lot of people know. A lot of people know that we want the high fiber, we want maybe some water. Beans are good for us. Fruits and vegetables are a simple one in there. Like the blueberries. Oh, there you go. Bulgarian to be excellent plain. I would add blueberries. Perfect. That's a nice mix. Like Greek yogurt too with some added blueberries is a nice mix because you're also getting a little bit of protein with that. I think that's great, Catnip. Yeah, Bulgarian yogurt. Yes. Awesome. And thank you for the 30 thumbs up, guys. Very much appreciated. Very much appreciated. So yeah, I think that's great. There's tons of studies out there, that show the benefit of, different dairy products, yogurt being one of them, but there's so many. Like we just said, Greek yogurt, there's milk. If you don't consume dairy products or you're sensitive to dairy products, you can always, take your own probiotic supplement or take a calcium supplement. Okay. So it's important to point that out. So just because you don't have dairy, all right, that's okay. Not everyone's going to have all of these foods in their diet, but you can still get the benefits of taking a probiotic and taking a calcium supplement. All right, and even a vitamin D supplement. To be honest, I think that's very, very important for colon health. Oh, olive oil is great for the colon. Excellent, Susan H. Nice. You're just throwing them out. Susan, why is olive oil great for colon health? Because that's a very interesting one, and one that we can talk about. But hey, you just threw it out. I think that's great. Any reasons why we think that olive oil might be good for colon health, guys? Because there are some oils, and it's been sort of interesting to see in studies. Like I said, I'm a big fan of olive oil. I think it's great for antioxidants. There's a lot of great things that have to do which correlate between olive oil and overall colon health. But Susan brings up a good point. Olive oil, would it be first on my list? Maybe not. I'm not sure. I didn't really rank any of these, but we can definitely say, and Susan's absolutely right, I'm glad she pointed it out, olive oil can be good for the colon. All right. Again, you just want to keep it in moderation. And the reason for that is olive oil is high in calories. All right. We just want to make sure, all right, we're not getting too many calories from olive oil. All right. Even 1 tablespoon, you're going to get something like 13 grams of fat. And we already know that's going to be about 130 or a little bit less. I guess specifically right off the top of my head, it's about 121 grams or 121 calories, sorry. So just 1 little tablespoon of olive oil, you're going to add up in calories fairly fast. But the good thing about it for colon health, you don't need a ton of it. All right, we already know that it can have good benefits as studies have shown. One, all right, again, going back to colon cancer, again, it's hard not to talk about colon health without consistently talking about colon cancer, because that's what all of the studies are sort of relating these back to. All right, but there have been studies which show olive oil, like a Mediterranean diet, olive oil, all right, is good for overall colon health. Let's just put it that way. It's good for reducing inflammation throughout the colon, all right, throughout the large intestine and through the digestive tract, all right, which is important for overall digestive health, all right, and colon health, I should say. And then even number 3, it reduces inflammation. Olive oil is a great antioxidant source. It's one of the best. All right, it's really, really high. It doesn't have a ton of nutrients, but it is a good source of vitamin E, which is a nice antioxidant. All right. I guess what the studies kind of showed were that areas that had a higher intake of olive oil had lower risk of colon cancer. So I think, that's where a lot of the studies come from. But we know it does have properties that do help the large intestine and the digestive tract and our colon in general. Like I already mentioned, antioxidants. All right. Sometimes healthy fats. Is it a good source of omega-3s? No, not really, but it does have polyunsaturated and monounsaturated, a little bit of omega-3. So it doesn't quite hit the nail on the head in our omega-3 discussion. All right, but it will help with inflammation. All right, it will definitely help with increasing nutrient uptake. All right, and there's just been those numerous studies. I can't bring it up. Susan brought it up, and for good reason. But can't bring it up without discussing just its reduction in the risk of developing certain types of colon-related issues, some that can be life-threatening ailments, and just different colon ailments in general. I think you guys know which ones I'm referring to here. Olive oil is good for arthritis, absolutely. And for the exact reasons, Lynn, like I was just saying, very nice. Great for anti-inflammation, all right? I've done a whole discussion. It's funny you guys are mentioning this. There's been if you want to get more on this, guys, like for arthritis, for heart and everything like that, then there's a couple discussions just related around arthritis and for heart health, where we go into all of these different foods and why and exactly they're helpful for that. Okay. So let me throw another one out here, guys, as I'm just having a sip of coffee here. All right. So we already know that fish. Yes, chia seeds and flax seeds can be helpful. I kind of like almonds. We talked about chia seeds a little bit before. All right. Almonds are always really nice. Same thing with walnuts, as we mentioned those before. The other reason why I kind of like olive oil and like chia seeds and things like that, one of the things that are the worst for you, all right, so going back to some of the worst foods, we want to avoid saturated fats. That's one of the main reasons why you avoid red meat. All right, we need to stay away from those saturated fats as best that we can. Limit the red meats. Like I said before, I think 1 to 2 times a week is more than enough. 1 time a week, all right, is plenty. All right, but good healthy fat sources, all right, especially for our colon, olive oil nails it, and I think avocados are a great one as well. Avocados are a great one as well because they have good fiber, more fiber than most people think. All right, and also very high in nutrition, great healthy fats. All right, and just overall, some of those omega-3 fatty acids as well. Again, not a ton. Most of its healthy fats come from monounsaturated fats, but you will get a little bit of omega-3 fats in there as well. And super heart healthy. Lynn brings up heart health. Geez, avocado, super heart healthy. So the main takeaway here, guys, all right, we just need to be careful, all right? Like if we're doing nuts and seeds, try to keep them in moderation, all right? Nuts and seeds, you could go over so many. Like Susan said, chia seeds and flax seeds. I could give you a list of like 20 different nuts and seeds that are going to be helpful for overall colon health. I really like almonds. I think they're one of your best choices. Walnuts, chia seeds are a great one, as Susan points out. Pumpkin seeds are a great one. Hemp seeds are another great one. All right, pecans, hazelnuts, pistachios, cashews to some certain extent. Those are all great sources. Those are some of your best ones, but we need to make sure that we're keeping them in moderation. All right, now why are they especially helpful for colon health? Well, one, because they have great healthy fatty acids, which we've already talked about. Number two, maybe even more important than those healthy fatty acids, is fiber. All right, so they're a great source of fiber, which again is going to help add bulk, reduce toxins, reduce waste. And then number three, all right, another great one is they have those important flavonoid antioxidants. And we've already talked about flavonoid antioxidants here already, and how flavonoid antioxidants can specifically help to increase overall colon health and decrease risk factors for different types of colon diseases or colon issues. All right, colon health related issues. All right, things that we want to stay away from. I guess we can call them colon health or large intestine ailments, digestive tract ailments. So we want to make sure that we're sticking with those. Just make sure, again, keep them in moderation, guys. Now, I hope you guys are getting lots of value. I really appreciate it there. We've been going for an hour and a half just talking about colon health, the best and worst foods. Tons of engagement in the chat. I love it. People going for a walk and listening, walking their dog. People having, as we're bringing up, oatmeal. Christine enjoying some oatmeal. So I hope you guys are getting a ton of value. Thank you so much for listening. I got a couple more points that I want to make. But all of the thumbs up, listening. Thank you so much, guys. If you finding value in the chat, in the discussion, I appreciate the thumbs up. I appreciate you listening to the chat. It means so much to me. And if you're, so inclined to do so, another way, the best way, people, again, I'll always bring up, I get it every single day. So this is why I bring it up in each and every one of these, because after every stream, people will bring up a Patreon or something like that. The best way to support the channel is just through the super chat function, other than your great thumbs up and for listening and you're subscribing and all of that great stuff too. I appreciate that. That's great. But then the other way is just through the super chat function here live on the live stream, and we will leave it at that. But I get to ask that pretty much on my commentary page and after each one of these live streams about Patreon or the join function. Don't feel too inclined to set any of that up right now. I like kind of doing them as is, but just the other way, your thumbs up are greatly appreciated. Subscribing to the channel, watching the videos, coming into these live chats, and then if you're so inclined and getting great value out of it, the super chat function is always greatly appreciated as well. So just make sure, guys, when it comes to overall colon health, I think I'll leave you with another nice one here too. Green tea is going to be a nice one. We know that water is important. Green tea is also another important one, guys. We want to make sure we're getting as much. There's a nice compound in green tea called EGCG. That's a short form. I used to have the long name, super long name in my head before, but it's gone, and I'd have to look at it again and maybe it'd get back in there. But EGCG, all right, great antioxidant compound. All right, tons of antioxidants in green tea, which we know is great for our overall colon health, reducing inflammation throughout the large intestine and the colon. And so not only are you getting that, but you're also hydrating at the same time. Water and teas, great for hydrating, especially green tea. The thing is, if you're having green tea though, guys, you just have to make sure that you're having somewhere in between 2 to 3 a day. All right, that's where you get the colon health benefits out of it. And actually, most of the health benefits from green tea actually come from having that amount of green tea per day. If you're having like one, all right, or if you're having it every now and then, yes, you're going to have health benefits from it. But the real health benefits when it comes to like heart health, the antioxidants, the anti-aging, the colon health benefits comes from a little bit more having that 2 to 3 a day. You have to have it quite regularly. So just keep that in mind as well. And then again, don't underestimate the lifestyle changes, guys. Again, if we're dealing with obesity, all right, if we're dealing with obesity, if you're smoking, if you're drinking alcohol in excess or in high levels, all right, high levels of or intake of alcohol, you can add in all these foods. You can drink as much water as you want, but you're probably not going to be doing yourself any favors when it comes to increasing or improving overall colon health. Stay away from alcohol as best you can. Stay away from sugar as best you can. All right, not only for colon health, all of this is for your overall health as well. Stay away from sodium. All right, I'd stay away from red meats as often as possible. All right, and I'd also stay away from processed meats. Again, those are going to be super high in sodium. If you can, I would try to stay away from saturated fats and especially trans fats. Let's not forget about trans fats, guys. Saturated and trans fats, some of the worst things that we can have for our overall colon health. For the best, we want to replace that with things like omega-3 fatty acids. All right, omega-3 fatty acids, tremendous. One of the best things to help improve our overall colon health. Same thing with polyunsaturated and monounsaturated fats. That's why I thought some of the nuts and seeds you guys brought up was great. That's why I sort of brought up avocados, one of the best omega-3s. One of the best monounsaturated fats. Pretty good omega-3s, but one of the best healthy fats, monounsaturated fat sources out there. All right, and remember, if we want omega-3s, if you don't eat fish, you can take an omega-3 supplement. All right, just make sure you're getting a good ratio between omega-3s and omega-6s and omega-9s. It's generally easier to get those omega-6s than it is to get the omega-3s. So just keep that in mind, guys. But we have to make sure not only are we doing that, let's make sure we're drinking enough water. We want to make sure we're flushing out the toxins and waste from the large intestine, from the colon. All right. We also want to make sure that we're getting good fiber. That's why we talked a little bit about whole grains. We talked about oatmeal. We talked about fibrous fruits and vegetables. All right. Blueberries being a great one. Broccoli being another great one. We want that fiber in our diet. One, that's going to help to add bulk. It's going to reduce constipation. All right. It's going to help improve regularity. And even more important, it's going to help to improve overall gut health. It's going to help good bacteria in the gut and throughout the digestive tract to thrive. Not only that, all of these foods that we've mentioned today are going to help to decrease inflammation throughout the intestinal tract and throughout the colon, which is what we want to do. All right. We want to make sure that we're reducing inflammation, because the more inflammation we have in there, one, you're more susceptible to risk factors for colon disease and things of that nature. All right. But two, it's also going to decrease your nutrient uptake. And we want to be increasing nutrient uptake. If we're eating all these healthy foods or good foods for us, we want to make sure that we're increasing the nutrient uptake of these important vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, even fiber, all right, and even your anti-inflammatory compounds. Well, that's interesting. Avocados have the ability to lift mood. You know, I might have read something about that before, catnip. I know fish oil might have, I've read studies before where fish oil can actually help to improve mood, especially if it's with vitamin D. So with avocados, absolutely. I think with a lot of healthy foods, it's kind of interesting. We know the great abilities it has for our overall body, but for the mind, these foods as well. When we talked about sugar, for 45 minutes to close to an hour, we talked about how sugar was detrimental to mood and overall mental health. So it makes sense when you start adding these healthy foods, the abilities, once you start getting these micronutrients, getting the right macronutrients, getting the omega-3s, the things that our body craves and wants, all right, it's not surprising maybe to see some of that correlation where it can actually increase mood. All right. Now, again, mood is very complex. It's something that you're going to want to speak to a medical practitioner about. It can be very hard to, one, diagnose and difficult to treat, right? That's why I would never say just have food, do it with food, do it with food. Some people do, and that's fine. That's their opinion, but, it's non-judgmental here from me, of course. But again, it's very complex. You're probably going to want to speak with a medical practitioner about it as well. Again, because there's severity with it also. You have to respect that as well. So one person's issue might not be the same as someone else's. All right, it's a very complex matter. But you're right. We talked about that when we were dealing with sugar. Sugar had the ability, we saw in studies, to increase the risk of things like anxiety, of things like depression. All right, this. In one of the studies, they even said sadness, all right? But depression, anxiety, sadness, and even overall mental disorders in full. So I thought that was quite interesting as well. But again, when it comes to colon health, guys, very, very important. Passionate about things like diabetes, sugar intake, heart health. Colon health has to be on our radar as well. All right? And the reason why is colon health issues going way up. Large intestines, you're seeing things like diverticulitis more and more. Crohn's disease more and more. I don't know if you guys know anyone with those, but I can name individuals who are dealing with those. More of my clients are dealing with digestive issues. Irritable bowel syndrome is off the charts, way more common today than it's ever been. All right, so we need to make sure that we're, taking our digestive health serious, all right, and taking our colon health serious as well. If not, we're doing ourselves a disservice to our overall health in general. So I think if you start with some of these foods, I think, again, guys, the whole point of these chats aren't to make you go out and today eat all of these foods and avoid all the ones that I mentioned. I think the point is maybe, if you're, let's say, having a little excess sugar each and every single day, I think you start out just by cutting out some of the sugar on a day-to-day basis. It's little changes, all right? Maybe adding a little bit of, you can add oatmeal into your diet. Maybe having oatmeal for breakfast or putting it into a smoothie 1 to 2 times a week is a nice choice. All right, something that we can do consistently. All right, because again, if you go for the home runs, the chances that you're going to be able to stick to it and be able to do it successfully are just going to keep decreasing and decreasing. The more and more we put on our plate, all right, the harder it is to maintain. So start when it comes to colon health, just like with anything. It could be weight loss, it can be heart health, it can be reducing sugar. It doesn't matter what we're really talking about. All right, it's all the same thing. Start small incremental changes. Yes, exactly, Susan. Just like we were bringing up, olive oil helps reduce inflammation. All right, that's why I was saying it's such a good thing for colon health. All right. And the reason why I like bringing it up, reducing inflammation, that's why I also brought it up when we had to deal with heart health and arthritis. Lynn brought up olive oil was good for arthritis. It's exactly right. Just like I was saying, helps reduce inflammation. All right, there's some vitamin E in there and antioxidants, which are going to help to reduce inflammation. And irritable bowel syndrome, as Susan is pointing out, is an inflammatory disease. All right. Inflammatory bowel disease or syndrome. Sorry, it's right in the name. So, there's a lot of things that can help with irritable bowel syndrome. All right, olive oil is one of them, but there's tons of anti-inflammatory foods. All right, I think I've done a discussion on them. If not, that might be an interesting one to do. But there's certainly some videos out there that I've done that are some of the best anti-inflammatory foods that you can consume. So thank you for pointing that out, Susan, and for the avocados there, Catnip. I appreciate it. So just take it one step at a time, guys. Again, no home runs, one step at a time. I think even a nice one might be just increasing water intake by a glass or two. If you can increase water intake, you're on a good step to improving overall colon health, making sure we're not dealing with constipation. I think maybe even if you could, add in like a dairy product with some calcium. All right, a probiotic, like cabbage or something like that, prebiotics. I think that would be very nice. That can be a great start for improving overall colon health. Maybe adding in a little bit of green tea, things of that important. Yeah, you have to get extra virgin olive oil or cold pressed. Good. It's like that with any. I know Hostile was saying in here before that you want to look for the best, highest quality of most of the foods that you eat. But it's the same thing absolutely with olive oil. They're not all the same. It's the same thing with honey. That's why I always say raw organic honey and not pasteurized honey. All right, try to get the highest quality that you can. The highest quality for olive oil, the more antioxidants it's going to have, the more beneficial it's going to be for reducing inflammation throughout the body. It just goes hand in hand. So try to get that highest quality, like Catnip is saying, and like I've been saying throughout the discussion. So thank you very much, guys. 1 hour and 45 minutes. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for the thumbs up. 34 thumbs up. At least that's what I see here on my end. I know it could be higher. Thank you so much. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of it. Again, we're doing these. So we've been going pretty hard now with our live streams. We've been doing a pretty good job of getting on here and having a good chat. We had last Friday. Since Friday, we've had 3 streams. You're right, Christine. You guys are funny. You guys are awesome. I like, now that we're on olive oil, everyone's pointing out all of these nice, interesting olive oil information and points. You're exactly right. It's not the best at high heat. Like cooking with it, it doesn't have a very high heat ratio. So you're exactly right. So you'd want to use something. I like olive oil, or sorry, not olive oil, avocado oil. Coconut oil works well. So do we sauteing. So you're exactly right, Christine. It's like its heat point is a little bit lower than some of the other oils. Absolutely right. But, I hope you guys are getting a lot of value out of this. Like I was saying just before Christine brought up her great point, we've been going hard on this. Last Friday, we've had almost 3 2-hour streams. So 6 hours of streams in less than 1 week, in 6 days, guys. So we're really going hard. I'm really trying to put my best foot forward in giving as much information as I can out to you guys. I hope you guys are getting good value out of it. We've covered everything from diabetes to sugar intake and now to colon health. It's just gonna be, keep going up and up and up from here. Wednesdays and either Saturday or Sunday. Sunday's usually our big one. I'm always greatly surprised and love seeing everyone in here on Wednesday mornings or on a Friday morning, weekday mornings. Just being so early and on a work day, it's so great to see everyone that's in here. Thank you so much, Sonia. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for the kind words. But it's been very fun. I've been waking up early, trying to get these streams in, starting by 7 a.m. my time. So waking up fairly early, getting the streams in, getting them out to you so that I can get them up, because we got other videos coming out in between all of this. Like yesterday we had sweet potato juice out there and some recipes that were involved in sweet potato juice. All right, something that, I think a lot of people will love. It's almost that season for it. All right, so you can check that out if you're interested in sweet potato juice. Might not sound the best at first, but you might be pleasantly surprised giving that a taste. I think you guys might like the recipe that I threw in there as well. I even put in the comments you could put a little bit of cinnamon in it as well. So, 3 times in the last 6 days, all right, about 6 hours of stream. So I'm really trying my best to get as much information to you guys as possible, plus putting the videos out there as well, plus doing my own job. Like I said, YouTube isn't my full-time job. It's a hobby and something that I love interacting with you guys with. So thank you so much. Again, I appreciate any support that you guys can give. If you're getting good information out there, if you're enjoying these streams, all right, if you're listening to them, I hope that you're really enjoying them. And you know what? You guys let me know, because at some point there's going to have to be a face reveal added to this whole thing as well. Let me know what you guys think about a face reveal so you can actually see my face while I'm talking and while I'm on stream. At some point, I'm not sure when, it seems like it's getting closer and closer, there will have to be a face reveal. You guys let me know what you think about that. I think that might be kind of interesting. Oh, my pleasure, Catnip. And yeah, it is a nice. I enjoy that picture as well. That's why I've kind of been using it as a. I've been using it as a picture here during the live stream and then also as a thumbnail. But I'm thinking the thumbnails might have to change just a little bit. We'll see. But for right now, we'll keep everything as is. But, a face reveal might be coming up at some point. You guys let me know what you think about that. But thank you so much for the support. As always, guys, 37 thumbs up there. You guys are the best. And again, any support that you guys can give, always greatly appreciated. So we will be back then. Our next live stream will be back on, I'm going to say Sunday morning. All right, it's going to be a little bit earlier as well again. Like 7 a.m. is probably like the go-to. All right. Keep those videos coming. I definitely will, Susan. I'm glad that you're enjoying them. They'll keep coming. Don't you worry. Same with the live streams. We'll definitely keep them going. Thank you. But Sundays, I have another interesting topic. I'm thinking that it'll be something along the lines of sodium-based. I really want to talk about, we talked a little bit about sugar. I want to talk about sodium and the negative effects of sodium has on the body. So that might be our Sunday discussion. We'll see. I have a whole bunch of them. I usually will pick one that I find interesting, research that, and then go from there. But that's what I'm sort of leaning towards for Sunday. Face reveal will be awesome. Okay, Sonia, I'll keep that in mind. And if anyone else is thinking that, just let me know. Because like I said, it's probably going to have to happen sooner rather than later, and I think it would be kind of fun as well. So thank you so much, guys. I appreciate all of the support. I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday. Halfway through the week. This week's flying by. It's hard to believe. The videos will keep coming, Susan. Don't you worry. And, have a safe, happy Wednesday, guys. Thank you so much for commenting on all the videos. Thank you for all the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And we'll continue with these live streams. Like I said, 2 hours is kind of becoming our norm here. So be on the lookout for Sunday, because I know what we'll go probably at least 2 hours then again as well. So thank you so much, guys. Appreciate all of you. I hope you got good value from today's discussion, and I hope you have an amazing day. So take care, and I will talk to you live on Sunday, and I'll see you in the comment section on all our next